Hi everybody and welcome to Andrew Reviews, and today it's a very special review because I'm going to be talking about the Alita Battle Angel movie, or Battle Angel Alita, or however you want to pronounce it, because James Cameron has a bug up his ass when it comes to titling his movies. Yes, we all know how it stands, Mr. Avatar and Terminator. Anyway, the movie I talked about for a while both on the podcast and a few other videos. And while I'm not a humongous fan of live-action adaptations for anime and manga series, I didn't go into this with the aspirations of seeing it in that light. I went into it this time with the hopes of seeing it as a standard standalone movie, basically a science fiction flick, and it did not disappoint. I just want to say that right off. This movie had everything that a science fiction movie would have that you could possibly say was good. It had a wonderful conflict, which, yes, I will admit, felt a little rushed near the end, but then again, it pretty much forced itself to, and I'll explain that in a moment. It had a decent story-driven plot where you didn't really feel lost, because if something was introduced mere minutes before, literally about 10 minutes later, they're explaining what you just saw. And not in the way that they're spoon-feeding it to you, but in the way that they're just explaining it to give you the backstory so you understand what in the holy hell's going on. And I thank them for that. That's how you do a movie right. The animation in this was beautiful. The mix of live action and CGI was actually quite well done. Almost reminded me of some of the earlier CGI stuff that started getting really good, as a diamond in the rough sort of deal. Yes, CGI's been around for so damn long now that a lot of people are sick and tired of it, but when done correctly, and that's what this one was, it definitely shows that if done correctly, it can be a wonderful thing and a beautiful addition to any movie collector's library once it comes out. Honestly, the only nitpicks that I have to make for this are honestly just how quickly it ended and some of the mere stupidity of some of the stuff. But they're just general nitpicks that I would have for any other science fiction movie. While I did not have any knowledge of the anime or the manga going into this, I did, however, know that they were based off of it, but like I said, I know nothing about the anime or manga series. Therefore, going into this, I just saw it for what it was. A standalone science fiction movie, which to me was really good. I'm not gonna lie. I like the way that they have us basically feel for Alita in most of the movie, while at the same time exploring the world around her. We learn about the outskirts of the city, we learn about the inner workings of the city, and we learn about the city in the sky. All of that culminating into just a wonderful story-driven narrative. Like I said, yes, some of the stuff feels like it's forced down our throats, especially the sequel is coming sort of feel that we get. I don't want to try to spoil anything, but by this point in time, I think that's pretty much out of the water. There's no way to avoid it. So the movie doesn't just hint at it, it straight up Wile E. Coyotes you right from the start. You're pretty much having this giant Wile E. Coyote rocket sort of shoved down your throat while they light the fuse on the other end. You're just hoping to get as much enjoyment out of it as you can before that fuse hits zero. It's not a bad thing, but I don't mind it when studios blueball you with the possibility of a sequel, but when they just flat out dangle it in front of you and shove it down your throat, while I appreciate it, it kind of doesn't help if the movie's going to end up sucking or something, they may not get a sequel. Now, it's not bad per se that they did this, but again, not exactly something you want to do when you're talking about waters here that could be treaded very dangerously. Live action adaptations do not go over well, with a few very random exceptions, and science fiction movies have really had their place in the sun, just completely obliterated thanks to Michael Bay's Transformers, Lost in Space back in the 90s, and so many others. Now, yes, a majority of decent movies can actually get sequels, but it depends on multiples of genres and everything else. Science fiction is one of those weird ones that it could get a sequel, but at the same time, you're better off figuring out what your plot's going to be and figuring it all out prior to completing it. Now, that's not saying it's a bad thing, but then again, it's not a good thing either. All in all, though, the story was quite well. I mean, yes, I know the eye thing was something that a lot of people were really freaking out about, but I'm going to be honest with you, it grew on me really quickly. I didn't see them as giant bug eyes that are creepy as all hell. I saw them literally as we're just looking into the window of her soul. It's not exactly a bad thing either, because it kind of gives you that I really feel for her character sort of like driven motive. You know she's the main character, but in this case, it's you really feel for her. You want to get to know her a little more, so it drives you to want to watch more and more of the movie. The only downside, like I said, there are a few nitpicks, like the whole moto ball thing, the sport that they were talking about in this movie. It's never really explained, especially the rules. And while I could just assume it's like roller derby meets soccer, I have no proof of that. Now, yes, like I said, that could just be something that I'm probably missing because it might have been in the anime and the manga. But it would have been nice to at least have the rules explained so the audience can follow along. Otherwise, it's just grab ball, try not to get yourselves killed or beaten up. So basically, try to race around the thing, dunk the ball in, and not get IGPX'd to death. Got it. Not a problem. Otherwise, the movie really doesn't have many plot holes that it doesn't fill up quickly. We learn about Ito's past. We learn about the city. We learn about Alita's past as she's learning about it. Everything. The only person whose past we don't really learn about is Ito's assistant, and in all honesty, we could just assume what it is. She's probably just somebody that got hurt, he fixed her, and she offered to help him. That's pretty much all I gathered from it. She's a throwaway character and not really one that I am really going to be upset about if she doesn't actually get a backstory explained in a movie. Yes, the whole massive amount of death and everything else does have some really cringeworthy moments, and again, I'm trying not to spoil anything, but I really just can't without explaining half the movie away. Basically, there is the infamous scene where a dog is murdered. However, it is done off screen. I'm not going to lie on that. This provokes one of the hunter warriors, a group of bounty hunters, to actually help, mostly out of the fact that the person that they're going after was not a dog lover. Which is fine, but that's a piss-poor motivation. I thought maybe Alita's speech moved him, but apparently not. The whole hunter-warrior thing is another thing that's not really fully explained, but then again, they're bounty hunters. It would have been nice to understand the laws that are mentioned a couple times, like the code of the bounty hunters, the law of the hunter-warriors, and things like that. But who cares? They're bounty hunters. That's all we really need to know, basically. They collect the bounty of the wanted people, and that's how they make a living. That's fine. Imagine, again, any sci-fi movie. We don't really need to know a backstory about the guild of every single science fiction movie that has bounty hunters in it. As cool as it would be, it's not really worth our time and effort to get involved in that. But there are a massive amount of downplays that I do think this movie did with that, but I'm going to let them slide. Mostly because I just don't care. All in all, the movie is good, and if you get a chance to see it, I highly recommend it. Yes, it is 2 hours long, but it's 2 hours well spent, honestly. If you're going into this with the I want to see the anime or the live-action adaptation of this anime, you're liable to be disappointed, but since I didn't see the anime or read the manga prior to this, I went into this with honestly non-judgmental eyes to watch a movie that I just dubbed as a science fiction movie, and that's how I'm keeping it dubbed in my head. It was a science fiction movie, and that's all it is. Am I upset about it? No. Do I think it was good? Yes. Am I entitled to think that? You bet. I'm entitled to my own opinion, and I thought it was quite good. A lot of the critics are giving it high praises, and it well deserves them. I'm not going to lie. So, if you get a chance, go check out Battle Angel Alita or Alita Battle Angel, however you want to pronounce it. And until next time, I'm Andrew Rhodes, and this has been Andrew Reviews. Thanks, everybody, for watching, and until next time, see ya.